Hey guys, welcome to my fourth video for Money May Scouts. Today we're going to be breaking down the film on St. Joseph's Jr., Rasheer Fleming. Fleming, who's from Camden, New Jersey, had a solid junior season at St. Joe's. He was an A10 first teamer, averaging slightly under 15 points and 9 rebounds, a bit over an assist, block, and steal a game, while shooting 53% from the floor and 39% from three. He also notably averaged a tad over 2 offensive rebounds a game and had a true shooting percentage of around 64% on the year. What excites NBA teams about Rasheer Fleming is he fits the label of the prototypical 3-and-D wing that is very much sought after. I think what separates him a bit from that typical mold is his defensive versatility. He stands just over 6'8" with a 7'5" wingspan and is 230 plus pounds. This is part of what allows him to guard multiple positions and is the first strength of his I want to discuss. On this first clip, Fleming starts by sliding his feet well to cut off the VCU guard. The ball then gets kicked out corner. He's able to help stop the drive and deny the potential pass to the big under the hoop. This was great defense on this possession by Fleming against the quick VCU guard as he ends up forcing him to take a long two, falling away from the basket. On this possession, Fleming guards the ball handler in a pick and roll action. He fights over the screen, trails the ball handler a little bit, but then recovers and blocks the floater attempt from behind with his offhand. Fleming is also very capable of guarding the post. This clip here is an example of really sound post defense by Fleming. Fleming does not let the Fordham big find any angle around him or create any separation. He forces the big to shoot over him, which misses. The Fordham player is able to gather his own rebound, but then Fleming blocks his second shot attempt. The second strength of Fleming's is his shooting. He's particularly strong in spot-up situations. This is the most common type of shot attempt for him, occurring on just under 35% of possessions in which he shot the ball. He's very solid in both catch and shoot and pick and pop situations. The first of which we will talk about are his catch and shoot threes. On this first clip, Fleming finds his spacing nicely by backing out to the corner as his teammate drove at him. His quick release and high release point were on display on this three. Fleming does a great job on this play of drifting and relocating to the corner to be an option for the ball handler, Xavier Brown, to pass to. He has nice elevation and the quick release on this three-point make. Here, Fleming works his man in at the elbow and then comes off the screen tight. His man ends up being with him as he catches the ball, but Fleming sees he doesn't have his hand up and he rises over him to hit the shot. On this one, Fleming rotates over to the top of the key with Simpson hitting him as he's sliding over. As he catches, Fleming has no hesitation, even with the hand in his face, and he knocks down the three. There are very few defenders that could block Fleming's shot with its speed and release point. As mentioned earlier, Fleming is also talented in operating in pick and pop situations. On this play, Fleming pops after setting the off-ball screen. His man doesn't close out with the hand up, giving Fleming the key to knock down the three in his face. This was a great pick and pop three by Fleming. He sets a good screen, comes off quickly, but the most important element is that he maintained good balance despite sliding towards the right. Once he gathered a pass, he has great elevation on his jumper. Great hit. This was a good rescreen and pop by Fleming to hit his fourth three of the game. The quality of his screen is what generated that open of a look. Here, Fleming slips out to the wing as soon as he feels the guard staying with Brown. When he catches it, he gets himself set and has a quick release that allows him to not be bothered by the help defender coming to close out. Moving back to the defensive end, Fleming has very good hands. He's talented at tracing or swiping the ball from people. This first play was great on-ball defense by Fleming. He traces the ball well, then as his man brings it low, Fleming swipes down on the ball without fouling. Then he is able to rip it out of his man's hands and secure the ball on the floor. On this play, Fleming knocks the ball out of the Richmond player's hands as he is trying to gather. This sparks a fast break layup for St. Joe's. Fleming displays great hands by pickpocketing the Fordham player on this drive attempt. He ends up getting fouled as he was attempting to grab the loose ball. This is superb defense by Fleming to break up this attempted DHO by getting his hand in the mix and swiping the ball away. His teammate is able to recover the loose ball to seal the turnover. Fleming does an excellent job of tracing the ball in this possession. He gives a good effort in sliding with the George Mason big, and then when the big exposes the ball, Fleming swipes it away with his right hand for the steal. The fourth strength for Fleming is his offensive rebounding. As mentioned earlier, he averaged just over 2 a game last season, which put him in the 93rd percentile of offensive rebounders in college basketball. This first clip was a solid example of Fleming not giving up on the play following his missed shot at the hoop. He grabs the offensive rebound on the opposite side of the basket, takes a dribble to the right side, and slams it home. On this play, despite backpedaling towards the corner as the shot is going up, Fleming hustles to get back into the mix on the rebound opportunity. He knocks it out of the VCU player's hand, and St. Joe's recovers to maintain possession. Even when Fleming's personally not grabbing the rebound, he had many plays like this where his crash led to a teammate securing the rebound. This was a good job by Fleming to trace this offensive rebound. He is very quick to react and track down the ball after it came off the rim. Here, nobody hits Fleming as he's crashing, the ball bounces favorably for him, and he finishes the putback dunk. This was a great offensive rebound by Fleming. He goes in between four George Mason players and tips it to himself to secure the board. What I love about Fleming is he's not just talented at garnering steals, he can also block shots at a high level. This was an unreal block from Fleming. He really should not have been able to get to this, but his timing on his rotation from help side and his jump were perfect as he denied the potential layup. This was an elite defensive sequence by Fleming. He shows on the ball handler coming down off the ball screen, slowing him down enough to allow his teammate to get back even with him. Then as the ball handler dumps down opposite side to the VCU player open at the block, Fleming is able to rotate over and deny him at the rim. He really showcased his defensive versatility here. This was an incredible possession from Fleming defensively. He fights over the ball screen and trails the play a bit, but is able to fight back and anticipate the lob pass well. He knocks it out of the VCU player's hands in the air, and then hustles to save the ball to his teammate before it goes out of bounds. Here, Fleming initially mistimes the block attempt on the shot fake, but then he is so quick to get off the floor on his second jump and blocks it on that second attempt. The next strength of Fleming's is his cutting. This is an important strength to have as he is someone who is going to be playing off the ball a good amount in the NBA. This is a great job by Fleming setting this up as if he's going to set the screen and then quickly slipping it. His teammate finds him and from there it is an easy dunk. This is a great slip by Fleming across the middle to generate a good opportunity for himself. He's disappointed to not have converted the and one, but he still gets to go to the line for a chance at two. Fleming does a nice job of cutting backdoor on the baseline and caps the play off with an impressive finish with the left hand through some contact. This is another great cut by Fleming. This time he draws two guys, lands on 2 feet, pivots, and hits Ajabo, who makes a 45 cut across the lane and slams it home. The last strength of Fleming's to discuss is his ability to absorb and finish through contact. After running hard in transition, Fleming finds himself open under the hoop. When the ball gets passed over to him, he sees the big rotate over, he fakes up on the left side, absorbs the contact, and then extends with his right hand to the opposite side, putting some spin on the ball for the and one. Great play. Fleming is not the best player at creating off the dribble, but here he does a nice job of doing so. Fleming absorbs the contact very well in the drive with the bump, gets back to the paint, and extends for the contested finish. This is a good take by Fleming. He starts with a shot fake, then goes right, absorbs the contact from the help defender, and finishes the and one with ease. Here, Fleming does a good job of faking the DHO and splitting his man in the help on his drive with a push dribble. He then has good body control to finish over the smaller defender that switched onto him. Moving on to the development areas for Fleming, these were the most notable traits for him to improve on going forward. As mentioned earlier, Fleming fits the 3-and-D mold well with his great defensive versatility and strong shooting numbers. However, part of what comes with the traditional label of a 3-and-D player is that they sometimes lack the ability to create for themselves or others. This is largely true with Fleming, as the first development area we will address is his ability to create his own shot off the dribble. On this first play, towards the end of the shot clock, Fleming is forced to create off the dribble. He did a good job of not getting ripped by gathering the ball as help side was reaching in, but he took his momentum away from the cup and was forced to take an awkward, contested runner that misses short. Here, Fleming took one dribble to rip middle from the corner and went straight to posting up, which is not really what you want to see from any player when they are a step inside the three-point line, but especially your wing. He makes his way down to the paint after about another 7 dribbles and tried to convert on the post hook, but no luck. On this one, Fleming rips middle, doesn't really generate any separation between him and his defender, and forces a wild left-hand hook shot that misses off the opposite side of the glass. Here, Fleming tries to drive middle and gets cut off. He spins back right and his man is still with him, so Fleming has to opt for the handoff. The next area of improvement for Fleming is his playmaking. He needs to continue to work on making the simple play instead of forcing a shot or a drive. On this first play, Fleming has his shot blocked. Despite his athleticism, I think he would have been better off trying to dump this down to Ajabo after seeing his man rotate over on the drive. I thought Fleming displayed a bit of tunnel vision here, trying to convert this layup over 2 guys. He has Ajabo open on the same side short corner, but instead he loses the ball going up, sparking the VCU fast break. On this one, Fleming tries to drive right and split between his man and the man in the gap. He ends up losing the handle a bit, recovering, but then tries to split and finish between 3 guys and gets blocked. He needs to recognize someone is open and swing to either Reynolds in the corner or back out to Finkley to reset. Here, Fleming rips middle and goes right through to George Mason big. This is an easy charge call. He should have come to 2 feet and kicked the ball back out. The next area of development for Fleming is consistently catching the ball as well as reducing fumbling the ball when it is already in his hands. This area occurs less than the prior 2 areas discussed, but was still notable as there was a decent amount of times where Fleming would fumble his dribble or bobble the pass. Here, Fleming runs hard in transition but fumbles the ball a bit. He ends up holding onto it, but he couldn't convert the layup. On this play, Fleming fumbles the catch and turns it over in the roll. I think he was surprised to see help side right there as soon as he turned, as he hadn't fully secured the ball to begin with. Fleming does a great job backdooring this cut, but was unable to secure the ball. The pass was a little ahead of him, but he had his whole hand on it, which should have been enough to secure it. He may have been held a bit, but he is strong enough to fight through that contact. He ends up fumbling the ball, but was able to secure it and kick it back out to his teammate. The following area of improvement to discuss for Fleming is his biting on fakes. Fleming is 6'9" and shoots with over a 7'5" wingspan. There's no reason for him to jump on fakes as much as he does. He's plenty capable of deterring shots while not leaving his feet. Here, Fleming was a bit late to close out and jumped on the shot fake. Luckily, Virginia Tech couldn't capitalize. On this one, Fleming bites a bit on the shot fake, his man drives baseline and then splits Fleming and his teammate going middle for the layup. Here, Fleming falls for the hesitation move by the big man on the drive, leaves his feet, and Fordham capitalizes. A lot of times when Fleming fell for fakes this year, it was because he was late to rotate out. On this one, he's a bit late to get through the screen and jumps on the shot fake. Fordham couldn't capitalize, but he has to be more disciplined. A lot of players in the NBA will see their defender in the air and be able to draw a foul. The last area of improvement to address is Fleming's attentiveness off ball. On this one, Fleming does not talk through the interchange on the weak side at all with Simpson with Shoot moving corner. Shoot was probably the last guy in Tech you want to give an open 3 to. He needs to rotate his eyes better between his man and the ball and help. Here, Fleming is late to get back in transition and identify his man. The VCU player that was trailing on a break cans a 3 after Fleming was late to rotate over. Sometimes Fleming would be a bit late to get through off-ball screens. Here, he did not fight through the screen well to defend the 3. He looks like he even thought about going around the screener instead of running straight towards the shooter. Moving into the last part of this video, let's take a look at how Fleming's game will translate to the NBA. It is worth noting that Fleming did go into a bit of a slump at the end of his season, but his work product from the previous 30 games speak a much higher volume. His larger consistency from the season and his overall numbers demonstrate Fleming as someone with a high floor. You know what you are and you're not getting from him right away with that 3-and-D mold. You're not expecting him to turn into a star. Fleming makes a lot of sense to be added to a team in need of either shooting, a wing with defensive versatility, or even both. So what teams fit that description? The first team that makes sense, and honestly the earliest I see him going, would be to the Magic at 16. They were dead last in the NBA in three-point percentage this year at just under 32%. It doesn't hurt to add another wing like Fleming who offers defensive versatility similar to Jonathan Isaac, but that you could rely on more for health and shooting. He's also a lot more serviceable of a wing to play than Caleb Houston, who shoots the ball at best to the level of Fleming without as reliable defense as him. The next team I see really being a good fit would be the Timberwolves at 17. As a team competing for an NBA championship, Fleming fits right in with their style of play. The Wolves shot the 5th most amount of threes in the regular season. I think it would be very additive to add another wing who, like Jaden McDaniels, can guard multiple positions at a high level but maybe shoot the ball a little bit better than him. McDaniels is definitely a lot stronger at creating his own offense, but I think it makes so much sense to add another wing that could come off the bench and offer great depth with his reliable shooting and defense. The last team that I see making sense but who I think would have to trade up to get him would be the Suns. Phoenix had the highest payroll this past season. They need players on lower contracts that could be good complementary pieces to at least Devin Booker and maybe KD if he stays. While it seems like Phoenix hit on the Ryan Dunn pick last year, it doesn't hurt to add another player who you could rely on to knock down a 3 if it's swung out to them and play good defense on the other end. That's all I got on Rasheer Fleming. If you made it to this point, thank you for watching my 4th scouting video. I look forward to working on my next scouting breakdown soon.